Hi everybody, I'm Alan Friedman from the Australian Jewish Association, and the man sitting next to me needs very little introduction, particularly if you're in Victoria. For anybody else, David Southwick is the Liberal sitting member for Caulfield, and the election is up in a very short time, so we're going to have a quick chat to him. David, thanks for joining us on our AGA interview.
Thank you, Alan. Great to be with you.
So let's get into it, David. Why should voters not vote for the Andrews government?
Arrogance, integrity, corruption, a tired government, a government where people have absolutely had enough. And I think the flip side of it is people are desperate for a bit of confidence and government out of their lives. We've just had years of lockdowns. We've had a government that has been in our life in every single minute, in every single day. And for us to be able to return back to normality and to get Victoria back to where it once was, the most livable city in the world, we need that confidence. We need government out of the way, and we need a fresh start, and that's what we're proposing.
So what are the voters telling you are the main issues?
Health. When I say health, it's broader than just health itself. There's a lot of issues in terms of with our kids, particularly what they suffered through because of lockdowns. So health, mental health, and I think overarching, that confidence piece. I mean, it really, the fact that what this government has done to people and done to this state is unforgivable. And look, we got locked down for 2 years because the government said they wanted to prepare the state for the upcoming health issues and to ensure we weren't overrunning our health system. We opened back up and the health system is worse than where it was under lockdown. We can't have calling 000 on the point of whether you get through, paramedics not turning up, and 100,000 people on a waiting list. We've got to fix all of that, and that's been a really, really big issue. I mean, there are others as well, obviously cost of living and being able to pay for things. But at the end of the day, if you can't get help when you need in terms of health, then nothing else really matters.
Yeah. In the Caulfield area, we have the Caulfield Hospital issue, which is the subject of a discussion.
Yeah.
Mount Scopus wants to take it.
Yeah.
Does the Liberal Party have a view on that?
Yeah, well, look, first and foremost, as I say, we're in the middle of a health crisis, so we want a new state-of-the-art hospital. It's 100 years old. You've still got things like the hydrotherapy pool that's been closed for a couple of years. It was fundraised to keep open. Certainly beyond building a hospital, because it was built on a really large footprint, you wouldn't necessarily need that sort of size. There is an opportunity for something else. I've certainly said that it wouldn't go for private development or anything like that. It should be retained for either more health, education or open space. That's the commitment that I've given thus far, but I think anything beyond a hospital now would require further consultation and no side deals, which I'm just not prepared to give.
Okay, so does that mean you're not in favour of selling the site to Mount Scopus?
No, look, I'm certainly happy to have discussions in terms of what the rest of the piece of land might look like, but I don't even know. The government did some work on this with the former with the federal government initially, and then with Daniel Andrews to do a plan on what a new hospital might look like, and we've never seen those plans. So I don't know, other than the Alfred themselves said to me we would need about $550 million to rebuild, but I actually don't know what those plans would look like as part of the rebuild. So I'm flying pretty much blind in terms of other than what the cost would be. My starting point would be to have the proper consultation to ensure we've got allied health and all the other things that we need. And beyond that, I mean, I would love to see Scopus return to Caulfield. I really would. Well, not to return, to be in Caulfield, yes. Because, you know, most of the people, let's be frank, most of the people that live, that go to the school live around this area. But I think it's important to be very clear and transparent to the way we do this. We can't be just seen to be handing over a Crown land designated for health to a private hospital. It needs to be proper consideration in terms of what this would cost and everything else, and explore all the options. And as I say, I don't know what I'm dealing with yet, but what I do know I'm dealing with is with a health crisis, so I've got to get a hospital built first.
Yes, and the health issue is really paramount, isn't it? I mean, we're seeing every day people are struggling to get responses from OOO. The hospital system's overloaded. Is that something that you can actually address?
Absolutely, we can. So on a couple of folds, obviously, building more hospitals, that takes time. Ensuring that we've got more staff, and there's a short, medium and long-term situation with that, where a lot of people have left the healthcare system because they're just tired, they haven't been supported. We've got to attract those people back. Any new hospitals that we build need to be training hospitals. What this government's done over a number of years is actually, rather than training people in hospitals, they've trained them in universities, and then once you're in university you can't get placement, so there's a whole issue around that. So we need training hospitals, and then we've got to bring people in from overseas. That we could do straight away, permits, visas, to get specialists in here working in our hospitals so we can get them up and about and people being able to get the healthcare that they need.
Yeah, sure. David, your Jewishness can't be used as a lever in this election because your main competitors are also Jewish. Does this make it a bit harder for you? What's your electorate like? How Jewish is it?
Well, there's two elements. First of all, yes, 40% are Jewish, and 60% of the electorate's not. So it's one of the largest Jewish constituency in the state, or even for the country, for that matter. But it is about serving everybody, and I'm very careful about that, because I think no one should be get any fair treatment. But I also proudly wear my Jewish identity on my heart, and I'll stand up at any time against anti-Semitism. I'll stand up for Israel, as you know, on every occasion, and I'll stand up for people in our community that have had issues at whatever level of government and whatever that issue might be. And I think the difference between those others that are running against me and me is, you know what you get. You've got somebody that's got a proven track record. I mean, we just had the issues around recognising Jerusalem, and the other candidates were silent. We didn't hear a word from any single candidate when it counted. So I think, standing up for Israel and the Jewish community when it matters, I think is the key here. It's great that we've got Jewish candidates that are running, and it's great that no matter unless I think the Family First is probably the only one not, but I think every other candidate is Jewish. I think that's great. But at the end of the day, we've got to be prepared to stand up for our community, for Israel, in good times and bad.
Just tell everybody: does the state party have a view on Jerusalem? Where do you fit? I mean, it's really a federal issue, but
we before even America decided to move their embassy under the last term of government, we had a policy position to move a trade office. We can't move an embassy, but in Victoria we can move a trade office to Jerusalem. So, and I was criticised quite heavily for that. And a week later, I think Donald Trump moved and not that I'm claiming that I had anything to do with that, but people said to me, "Oh, why are you doing that?" And I said, for a number of reasons. Firstly, Jerusalem has a whole lot of really good opportunities. A lot of people have located themselves from a trade perspective into Tel Aviv. I think it's an untapped opportunity. You've got all the government offices and everything in Jerusalem. Why wouldn't you be there?
Yes.
So, I absolutely think that, certainly from our party side, we do have a view. We're unequivocal view, and the federal side as well. So, when it comes to the Liberal Party, first of all, we as Australians shouldn't be determining where someone's capital is, and we support Israel's self-determination of where their capital is, 100%.
Absolutely. Now, Labor seems to have the Teals as potential allies, or the Greens as potential allies, and yet you, as a Liberal Party candidate, don't seem to have any natural allies. Is that correct?
Well, thankfully I've got a few friends in the community, but I don't have many friends when it comes to running up against me in this election. And we've just heard that the Greens are going to preference Labor ahead of us in every single seat. So there's that relationship. There's obviously the Till candidate running against me was a former Labor Party member, so I'm not sure what they're going to do. But at the end of the day, the only way to get rid of Daniel Andrews is to vote Liberal, and that's our very clear message. You may have people out there that say, "Oh, I like this party and I like that party," but if we want to get rid of this Premier for all the reasons I said before, and to give Victoria the restart that it desperately needs, you've got to vote for us. And we might not be perfect. I know there are a number of people that would like us to go harder on certain things, but at the end of the day, I think the great thing about the Liberal Party is we're a broad church or synagogue. We respect everybody's views. We are a party of free speech, and we believe in small government. And, for all of those reasons, in terms of where we are as a state, I think it is really important now more than ever to ensure Victoria gets the restart desperately that it needs.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to say to the voters? I suppose get out there and vote early and vote often, as they say.
Yeah, look, absolutely. I just want to thank people. This is a great job. It's been a privilege and an honour, and hopefully I'll get that opportunity to continue to do that. But I love what I do, and for most of the time I've been in opposition, not in government. I came in the first 4 years into opposition and into government, and now ever since I've been in opposition, I'm the deputy. So I've got a whole lot of really exciting things that I'm looking forward to implement, particularly around small business and trade and jobs, and just ensuring that we are a state that people want to invest in and want to be part of and want to bring their families up in. And I really look forward to being given that opportunity. Hopefully, that will happen. But it is a job that every single day I feel that I'm fortunate enough to be able to do it. And as much as the big things that we get to do in terms of policy and laws and everything else, for me, it's the small stuff. It's going out to somebody that today we had a whole building that had their power cut off overnight without any prior knowledge. And we literally door knock every single one and make sure they're okay for tonight and that they had what they needed and trying to fix. And they're things that really, I think, matters.
Okay. All right. Good luck, David.
All
the very best.
Good on you.
And the election's coming up, so the voters will do what they should do, hopefully. And all the very best to David Southwick.
Thank you very much.